eat that. That's gross.
Can you post a live stream to Facebook, Roland? And we are live. Sorry about being late tonight, guys. Zoom is a piece of shit. But hello, and welcome to another episode of the Rolling Rockcast. I'm your host, Rocky McVeigh. I'm here with my co-host, Rowan Robinson.
Hey, everybody.
And my other co-host, Renee Canis.
Hey, everybody.
And tonight we're not joined by anybody else because Shane backed out on us. No cash money tonight. But it's almost Christmas. It's only what are we, like 10 days away?
I was going to say not even well, yeah, it's 10 days.
10 days away. So we're going to do our first Christmas episode today. We'll be talking about movies that some people would say are not Christmas movies. And maybe even some of us on this podcast will say some of these aren't Christmas movies. But others will say they are.
So if you're here to listen to an episode on The Grinch or Home Alone or, Jingle All the Way, well, fuck you.
Renee got the first fuck out this week. It's a Christmas miracle. Yeah, so I guess we'll start with the, I guess I'll call it the elephant in the room. You hear about this every single fucking Christmas. And we're all going to agree on this one. And if you don't agree, you're fucking stupid. But we're talking about Die Hard. It's a fucking Christmas movie.
And although Bruce Willis has said that it's not, he is fucking wrong. It's not officially Christmas until we see Alan Rickman getting thrown out of a fucking window.
So, I guess we ought to say what are our thoughts on what makes a movie a Christmas movie? So, Roland already had his list put up, so we'll let him go first here.
Oh, well, it's got to have a Christmas tree. It ain't Christmas if there ain't no Christmas tree. It's got to have Christmas tree, Christmas decor, Christmas presents, and multiple references to the holiday season. Preferably if they say Merry Christmas, but whatever. So those are a few things. Plus we need to have snow or some kind of wintry mix. That is the only thing I know that Die Hard is missing. I finally got it off the desk.
It has snow in it, though.
Does it?
Yeah, isn't it? There's a scene at the beginning of it with snow, isn't there?
No.
There's not? I'm pretty sure.
No. If we're counting 8s of cocaine as snow, then the character of Ellis does plenty of that in that movie.
A lot of people say that in Die Hard that the paper at the end, once it's coming out of the Nakatomi Plaza, it's coming down. That's to represent snow. To me, you're pulling that out of your ass. That's a little far reaching, but
I think to be a Christmas movie, I think the one thing I think it has to have is some kind of morality to it, like a moral. And Die Hard definitely has it. It's about getting your family back and realizing family should come first. So it definitely, it's about killing people, but it's also about reuniting with his family and making sure his family comes first. Even though we find out in later movies that did not happen.
Yeah, it's about coming to the coast, having a few laughs,
Throwing Alan Rickman off a skyscraper.
I think the reason I've not in the later movies, But I think the reason I love the first Die Hard movie so much is John McClane is like, he's basically portrayed as like an everyday kind of guy, you know. He wasn't like Arnold or Stallone in the 80s that were built like shit brick houses, you know. He was, you know, he was just a guy, and like that whole movie, he's trying to get the cops and other people involved so that he's not like fully responsible for everything, you know. It kind of reminds me a lot of like Indiana Jones too, you know. I think that's why I enjoyed those characters so much, just because, you know, they do get their asses kicked, you know. It's not just one man army guy, you know.
He kind of is a one man army in Die Hard.
I wouldn't say that.
not I don't think he is in the first one, because in the first one he basically he strategizes to basically take on the bad guys one at a time almost.
That is true, and I will say that it has actually one of the most painful scenes of any movie I've ever seen is the walking on glass. I always cringe at that scene.
Yeah. Did you guys know that this was originally supposed to be Commando 2?
I had heard that, yes. I had heard that before.
Yeah, but apparently Arnie turned it down. And they also offered it to Stallone and like 6 other people before they were like, all right, fuck it. I guess Bruce Willis will do.
Did they, what I like to know, because I have heard that it was going to be Commando 2. Was the script changed?
I believe so.
Because that movie, like, you can't compare what Arnold did in Commando to what Bruce Willis does.
Yeah, it would probably have to be like a terrorist group of like 50 guys and not just like 12.
And the movie would end with him blowing the building up.
So, hey, Roland, could I ask, does Bruce Willis killing a guy and then writing, I now have a machine gun too, ho, ho, ho. Does that count as a Christmas sweater?
Yes.
So there you go. You get decor, you get the outfits, you know. The end credits plays a Christmas song. It counts.
It's a Christmas movie. It's one of the better Christmas movies that you should watch every year.
And has one of the best villains in movie history, man. Alan Rickman is so great in that role.
Hans Gruber, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, he was such a good villain that one of the sequels had to be like, you know what? Let's just make it Hans Gruber brother.
Let's I gotta like mention another Christmas movie since we're talking about Alan Rickman real quick.
Oh my god.
So have you guys seen it's the number one chick Christmas movie, Love Actually?
No.
I haven't seen it.
So it's okay. It's not a bad movie. But where the fuck is that a good Christmas movie come from? It has horrible things about the morality in that movie is horrible. Cheating on your wife, like your best friend wanting to fuck your wife, like all kinds of shit like that. I'm like, this is a horrible thing. This has no morality to it.
Yeah.
Alan Rickman's the one that cheats on the wife, by the way.
Yeah. I will say I've always enjoyed the Liam Neeson character in that movie. His storyline with his stepson.
Yeah, him and his son is what really saves that movie and gives it any sense of morality to it. Although the I don't know what I guess, are they movie actors or are they just porn actors?
I think they're body doubles.
Is that what they're supposed to be? Okay.
Yeah.
So they actually have more morality than most of the characters in the movie.
Which is funny because I believe whenever they show that movie on cable, those characters are completely cut out because of them basically being naked like 90% of their story.
So
I
do
will
they
say,
not have them show up at the end either for the big ending scene?
I don't know.
That would be weird if they showed up at the end and they never been in the movie the whole rest of the time.
I will say Bill Nighy's character is also really good in it.
Yeah, he is too. I agree. He was probably like my favorite character in that movie.
By the way, I'm totally off subject. I cannot get the Facebook page to actually push that out. So the link that you asked me to put out earlier for our live feed, for whatever reason, I can't get it to go through.
Yeah, I'll do it real quick.
Internet fails. Fuck it, we're doing it live.
We're going live. You're just fucking it up, Roland.
Well.
Have to do one thing. So anyway, so I just had to throw that out there since we're talking about Alan Rickman, because I just don't understand why that movie is so loved as like this big Christmas movie.
It's gotten, some of the characters I've gotten backlash in the last couple of years. Mainly Alan Rickman's character and Andrew Lincoln playing the best friend.
Yeah.
Who's in love with his best friend's wife. They get a lot of flack.
The Alan Rickman's character, I'm like, all through that movie, I'm like, fucking stab his ass. Fuck him.
Well,
he should die the same way. He should die in that movie the same way he dies in Die Hard.
So Rowan Atkinson is in the movie too.
Yeah.
And apparently his character was supposed to be some type of like angel character that was supposed to be involved in all the storylines. And they ended up like cutting a lot of his stuff out. So he only ends up being involved in the one scene with Alan Rickman where he's buying the jewelry. And then at the end when he helps the little boy chase after the girl through the airport as a distraction. But apparently his character was supposed to be around for a lot more stuff.
Yeah, I always wondered about that when he shows up at the end. I was like, what is he supposed to be? Why is he like showing up and helping like just after being a store clerk in the middle of the movie? But back to Die Hard, I guess.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Was that the third fuck of the episode? I believe it was.
Somewhere around there.
So I didn't know that Bruce Willis states this isn't a Christmas movie. I've never heard that before, actually.
I think he said that on the roast, on his roast on Comedy Central.
Yeah, he said on his roast. But like I said, you're not the writer, you're not the director, so fuck you, Bruce Willis. This is a Christmas movie. And I will gladly watch it on Christmas Eve.
So do you make that your early Christmas movie every year?
Honestly, I don't really have a list of Christmas movies that I have to check out. I mean, I'll definitely check out Christmas Story during its 24-hour marathon. I'll probably, make my way over to TNT for like, a couple times throughout the day. So I'll catch like different sections of the movie. But other than that, not really. And I will say this, I grew up watching The Christmas Story before it became like this super big thing and being marathon for 24 hours. I used to watch it on WGN growing up in Chicago. And it would air like maybe once in a while, every once in a while. And then eventually me and my brother will watch it a lot when we bought it on DVD. And then like a couple years later, all of a sudden it was like the biggest Christmas movie that has this fucking marathon about it. And I'm just like, I don't know how it got so big.
That was a corporate exec at TNT, Ted Turner, getting lazy as shit. Just air this thing on loop all day. Yeah, put it on loop, have one guy in the office, everybody else go home.
Now I agree with you. Like I don't understand why it became this big marathon thing. I agree with you on that. But the reason I agree with you is completely disagreeing with you because I don't fucking like that movie.
I don't hate it.
I don't like it at all. I never liked it as a kid. And then when it became this big like Christmas thing with the marathons, I'm like, what the fuck are they doing? Let's watch Jingle All the Way on a 24 marathon. I could do that movie, but not fucking Christmas Story. It has like 2 good scenes in the whole movie.
I disagree with that, but a few channels have done the marathon thing with certain movies now. I've heard one channel plays Groundhog's Day all day on February 2nd.
Yeah.
And then I know there's some channel that plays Planes, Trains, and Automobiles now on like Thanksgiving Eve.
No, that one I
for 24 hours. So
I want to say before the whole marathoning of A Christmas Story, I want to say the Turner Network used to broadcast like good movies. Like it'd be the original Star Wars trilogy all day. They'd run all 3 movies back to back. So
TNT now loves to play Lord of the Rings on like nonstop and shit like that. USA likes playing all the Harry Potter movies, and it's just easy programming, man.
Let's go on and move on to our second Christmas movie. And that is Batman Returns.
This is a Christmas film. This meets all my criteria for a Christmas movie.
This meets my criteria for Christmas movie as well. I think it has a good morality to it. Saving the city from...
I know at the beginning the penguin is born... I guess it's around Christmas time because it's definitely snowing when they show him being born. And then, fucking throw your child down the sewer. So Christmassy.
All parents want to do that sometimes.
Yeah. Watch out, Rocco.
He's too big to throw down the sewer now. He's like fucking 3 feet tall already. only 2 years old. I was like saying that just earlier. It's like takes up the entire freaking bed, and he's like 2 years old already.
I mean, you also have to count the Ice Princess dying on the giant Christmas tree.
Nobody said Christmas couldn't be metal.
I would say it's a Christmas movie. How do you guys feel about parents at the time losing their fucking minds over these like Batman Returns Happy Meal toys? And
I don't remember them losing their minds over that.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
You don't. So that's why they ended up taking the franchise away from Tim Burton, because people were expecting, I guess, a little bit more kid-friendly movie, and instead they get the penguin, being horny and biting people's noses, and Catwoman being in a full leather tight suit and shit like that, and the movie being promoted at McDonald's with Happy Meal toys.
They promoted Gremlins, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
I mean, they made a cartoon and put out action figures of fucking RoboCop. Why the fuck is Batman Returns that bad? RoboCop's a million times worse than Batman Returns.
They had super crack.
Yeah. So
Which
anyway,
what McDonald's is for kids, anyways.
That's what led to Joel Schumacher doing the sequels,
thus causing all comic book movies to be set back at least a good 10 years. Like I'm Joel Schumacher has a lot of really good movies.
He does.
He does. He has a lot of really good movies.
I'll say The Lost Boys is one of my favorite movies.
I was going to say, name a good Joel Schumacher film besides Lost Boys.
But whenever I think of Joel Schumacher, I only think of the Batman movies, and I'm like, fuck him. Like, that's the only thing that comes to my mind. Like, but I know he had a lot of really good movies that he's made during his career, but because of Batman, he fucked it up so bad. He will always be a shit director in my mind.
Yeah.
And it'll never go away.
I mean, he says it in his commentary for Batman and Robin, I think, where he said he had the execs come down and be like, you need to make it more toyetic, was the exact word that they used. And it's like, yeah, it's basically one big fucking toy commercial, you know?
But this is what happens when you let executives write a movie. That's exactly what you'll always get.
Yeah, because most executives think your audience is stupid.
Yeah, they're kind of right on that.
I was going to say, here lately, it kind of...
I can't disagree with that.
But no, the movie meets all my criteria for definitely for being a Christmas film. It takes place on Christmas. I mean, hell, the movie ends with Alfred and Bruce Wayne wishing each other a Merry Christmas. Compassion at the very end of the movie, where Bruce takes in a stray cat. It's a good film.
Yeah, there's some really good scenes in there, like just seeing the Batmobile driving through the snow.
Yeah.
Or
I wonder how much money they had, because God, every scene it is just like pouring snow in that movie.
Yeah. Can I also say that this was like one of my favorite Super Nintendo games as well? The Batman Returns game. Yeah. It was basically a beat 'em up game. You know, you just went around as Batman and beat the shit out of people.
The Circus of Fear gang jumping out of the Christmas tree was pretty cool.
They were called something else, weren't they? The Red Circus gang, maybe. You also get that really awesome shot where the circus is kidnapping all the children on this like train, and all of a sudden you see there's like lightning and thunder, and you just see the silhouette of Batman standing on top of the train, and like the gang just losing their fucking shit. I always love that.
And let's not forget it has weaponized assault penguins.
Of course.
Yes, Mr.
That is like, I always remember the missiles on the backs of the the penguins.
The suicide bombers, man.
I'll be right back, guys.
It is
it's the 1990s version of WAP. Weaponized assault penguins, man.
Well, like you were talking about earlier about like Catwoman and the leather suit. That was like I do remember that being like a big deal at the time. And I have to say, looking back, like looking back personally on that movie, I don't even think about Catwoman in that movie when I think about them. I only think about the Penguin. Like, Danny DeVito to me is the star of that movie. He is fucking great as the Penguin. Like,
I mean, you could also include Christopher Walken as one of the bad guys in it.
Yeah. Yeah, he's definitely one of the bad guys in the movie too. But just the Penguin, I love Danny DeVito's representation of the Penguin. I thought it was great in both sides, as like the upclassman, like the traditional Penguin, and then the sewer rat Penguin. Both sides are fucking great. I can't really. I know they're making in the, I guess it's, what's it called, the Batman. It's going to have the Penguin in it, and I just I'm like, I don't know who's going to play the Penguin in that movie, but
Colin Farrell.
So I just can't see anybody else living up to that, to Danny DeVito's portrayal of him. I think it's going to be really hard to like live up to that.
Yeah, I think Colin Farrell is supposed to be more of a mob boss version of the Penguin. That's kind of been more popularized the last like couple years. But we'll see what happens with it. Based on that first trailer I saw, it actually kind of turned me on how I was feeling towards that movie.
How was you feeling before the movie? Before
the trailer, I thought it'd probably be shit, just based on Robert Pattinson as Batman.
Now that I didn't have a problem with at all, because like I mean, yeah, he's known as like the guy from Twilight, but I've seen him in a lot of movies, and he's a really good actor. So
yeah.
I didn't really have a problem with that. I was like, I think he could pull it off. And they'll definitely have to be going for the younger side of Bruce Wayne for this movie, using him anyways. But I do know that they're still bringing Ben Affleck back as Batman again for at least one more movie, they said. So I wonder what's going on with all that. I don't really know what they're doing. Maybe I wonder if the Batman's going to be sort of like the Joker, where it's just going to be like a one-off, has nothing to do with the universe.
They're working on the new Justice League movie. Well, not really the new one, but just actually, I guess, releasing Zack Snyder's original cut.
Yeah, I know. I did read. I have seen that. It's coming straight to HBO Max.
Yeah. So apparently they're doing a Flash movie that will deal with the multiverse there, which Marvel is about to start doing that too.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the Marvel one. I'm hoping Roland can attest to this. My favorite Marvel storyline of all time is Onslaught. And I'm like, they now have they have the X-Men, they have Fantastic Four, and they have the Avengers, and they're doing multiverse. If they don't fucking bring out Onslaught, fuck you, Marvel. You're setting it all up. It should happen. And it would be a good way to bring that. It'd be a good way to bring in the X-Men and everybody into the universe.
This new Spider-Man movie is looking like pretty crazy. They've already said Doctor Strange is in it. Jamie Foxx is back as Electro. They've confirmed Alfred Molina is back as Dr. Octopus.
They've confirmed Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield too.
And as well as Kirsten Dunst and Emma Stone. And apparently today they released that they are now talking to Willem Dafoe and Thomas Hayden Church as well. So only people left are James Franco and Topher Grace, I guess.
So, I mean, if they're doing that, I just have they got to be bringing. There's no way that they're not going to bring in Miles Morales. Like, I can
see them introducing him.
Do what?
I could see them introducing him.
I can't see him. He's such a popular character. I can't see them not. If they're going to bring the multiverse in, or the Spider Verse, I cannot see him not bringing in Miles Morales.
But anyway, back to Batman Returns. You missed my WAP joke, Roland.
Yeah, sorry. I heard it.
Oh, well, you're no fun.
So he's like, he don't give a shit. Roland's a sad person.
Is he the sad person that they spy on every night? Just logging into Pornhub.
Yeah. The government specifically has Roland's cameras turned on, just watching him every night.
I feel bad for him.
You see a lot of fat porn.
I was gonna say people dress as cats. that new Cats movie really had you going, huh, Roland?
I've still never seen it. It scares me.
That movie scares me too. Like every time I see like a clip of it, I'm like, it is so strange looking.
Oh, weird.
I cannot watch it. Like it's like I don't think I can handle watching that whole movie. Just the trailer is like give me like weird feelings.
I can't remember what movie I went to go see, and that trailer played for that movie, and me and my sister are sitting in the theater, and as soon as the trailer ends, I was like, what the fuck was that? And I guess I said it louder than I meant to, and like a bunch of people just started busting out laughing.
Well, it's all things like that make going to the movies an a great thing, Renee.
Yeah.
Someday that'll come back, I guess. Well, let's move on to our number 3. I love this movie. I've watched it probably 1,000,000 times, and it's definitely a Christmas movie. And it's Trading Places. I know you both seen it, but you both said it's been a while since you've seen it. Hit Meets. It definitely has snow rolling. It has Christmas trees. I forget what the rest of your list was.
Holiday decor.
Dan Aykroyd dresses as Santa Claus.
Yeah, Dan Aykroyd.
You got Santa Claus, boom, you're done. You got it.
And it's got morality. And I think it's like the perfect 2020 film too, because it's also about screwing over the really rich people. Although the rich people do screw over the poor people first.
Well, how's that got anything to do with 2020?
Because like what has been going on this whole year? Like it's been, we've had nothing but riots over yes, it's government, but when is the government not the fucking rich people? There's a bunch of fucking rich fucks that control everything. So, I mean, it's a great movie. A weird thing is, it did well when it was released, but it didn't do that well. And it had like almost negative reviews when it was released. And now it's considered to be like one of the best, like those type of buddy comedies that ever released. So,
yeah, I mean, Eddie Murphy was like really young in this too. He was like 18 or 19.
Was he that young?
Yeah.
I didn't realize he was that young in that movie.
I thought he was in his early 20s.
He was 18 when he started on SNL.
So this is an early movie. It came out like in 83. So yeah, so I guess I didn't realize he was that young though.
Yeah, it's also got Jamie Lee Curtis in it.
As a prostitute.
Yeah. Right after Halloween.
Prostitute.
Yeah. Right, a little bit right after the second Halloween movie, I want to say.
Yeah, it was Halloween 2 in 82, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this would have been like right after it, yeah. like the next year.
The crazy thing is, I was just listening to a podcast where they interviewed her, and she talked about how the studio didn't want her in it because they consider her more of a horror actress.
Yeah, Scream. She was the Scream Queen back then. She did Halloween, and she did Prom Night. She was one of the original Scream Queens.
Yeah, she said that was basically John Landis who directed the movie. That was like, no, she's in the movie, and it was, you're not gonna let me cast my own movie, then fuck you, I'm out.
But like I said, look, my definition of like what one of these has to be, I think it has like the morality to it, because it takes one rich guy and shows him how to be a nice guy, like brings him around, and then it also like I said, it shows the heart of gold prostitute. So it shows it's meant to show that everybody has good in them. That's the whole moral of the movie, except for the two old rich fucks, and like it was like fuck them.
Well, if anyone remembers, they actually cameo in Coming to America.
Yep.
as the two homeless people that Eddie Murphy gives money to.
Yeah, I think it was like $100,000. Was that what he just throws at him, and they're like, "We're back."
Yeah.
Which they're those two actors. I'd read that Jim Henson had based the two old guys off of those two guys.
I was about to say they're basically Waldorf and what was the name of the other one?
I cannot remember the name of the two Muppets. But yeah, I'd read that he had actually based those two Muppets off of those two actors. Which I can see that, because they are just like them.
Not to go off topic again, but what do you guys think of, yeah, what do you guys think about them finally making a sequel to Coming to America?
Oh, I've been looking for it for a long time.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Oh, it's already filmed.
It's already filmed. It's releasing in March.
Yep. It's going to be.
I believe Amazon bought the rights to it. So
did they?
Yeah.
It's a Viacom movie, right? So I'd heard that it might be coming to CBS because they are Viacom now.
No, well, it might, but as of right now, it's just on Amazon Prime. And I don't know, man. Like, I'll watch it, but I just hope it doesn't ruin the magic of the first one. Because in my opinion, the first one is Eddie Murphy's best movie.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So while they do have a lot of the cast returning from the original, like even James Earl Jones is in it. Like I just hope it doesn't ruin, like I said, the magic of the first one.
I hope I haven't heard about whether he's returning or not, but hope that Louis Anderson's back and he's still working in the fucking
McDowell's.
Yeah, McDowell's.
They also need to update it. I mean, if you're releasing it, you might as well have an updated Soul Glow commercial too.
No, you definitely do. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I seen an interview with Eddie Murphy a while back, and he was talking about that movie, and he said that I think it was Norbert. Is that the name of that movie?
Norbert.
Yeah. He said that after that movie, he told like all the studios and everything that he was never doing another movie where he played multiple characters again. And he's like, I meant that. He goes, it fucking sucks. He was playing like a bunch of characters in the same movie. He goes, But now I'm doing Coming to America too. And I play more characters in it than I have in any other movie I've ever done.
I mean, I wonder if the barbershop people are still there.
They are. He said that he didn't mention those specifically. So he's still playing. They would have to be like, 150 years old now in this movie.
I always loved the him playing the Randy Watson too, the sexual chocolate.
Yeah. Actually, my favorite other character in that movie is probably the Reverend, played by Arsenio Hall.
Yeah, he's really good too.
When he's up there, he's like, "These fine-looking women."
I gotta sop her up with a biscuit.
I was like, that's definitely a preacher right there.
Tell us, Rocky, have you been touched inappropriately by a priest?
No, never been touched inappropriately by anybody. But I am looking. I'm really looking forward to it. I hope it turns out to be really good. So hopefully it does. It's not a letdown. I'm glad that everybody's coming back. I would be sorely disappointed if some of them hadn't came back. But anyway, let's go on to our last movie. This movie is Renee's pick, and it's Lethal Weapon.
And yes, it takes place at Christmas.
So this is the only one that I'm like on the fence about whether I consider this a Christmas movie or not.
I'm pretty sure the movie opens up with a Christmas song as the girl is doing drugs and throws herself out of the fucking window of the hotel.
That's how most Christmases. I mean, that's usually what Christmas is a shit of a holiday. So
you also have Riggs doing some type of a cocaine deal on a Christmas tree lot.
I mean, that's where. Yeah.
And
cocaine, snow, drugs.
Yeah, I mean, and when Riggs and Murtaugh kill the main bad guy, his car blows up, and his car had a shitload of cocaine in it, and it looks like it's snowing. So that fucking counts.
I guess I'll give it a pass. As like the morality thing is where it gets.
Well, Riggs is suicidal that whole movie, and Murtaugh teaches him the importance of friends and family, and he invites him over for Christmas dinner, and it makes Riggs not be suicidal anymore.
Okay.
Bam.
You win. It's a Christmas movie.
But did Riggs do cocaine?
Well, if you're not doing cocaine at a Christmas party with your friends and family, then you're not at a Christmas party with your friends and family.
You're not celebrating the fucking holidays the right way.
Kind of like with the Die Hard movies that I kind of love all of those. I gotta say I love all the Lethal Weapons too.
It's another one that I've heard that they're planning on making another sequel to it.
But in the third one, they already told us that they were way too old for that shit.
And then they told us they were too old for that shit in the fourth one, man.
Yep.
And did either of you ever watch the TV show that was on Fox a couple years ago?
No, I couldn't. I saw that, and I knew a lot of people that watched it, but I was just like, no, that's not Danny Glover and Mel Gibson. Fuck that show. That's not Lethal Weapon.
So I did watch it. It was actually not a bad show. The first season was basically the first movie with them like dealing with, but they updated it. Instead of like mercenaries trying to bring in drugs, it was more of a cartel. And the second season updated it where instead of dealing with the South African thing, they dealt with white supremacists. But Damon Wayans was playing the Murtaugh role. And I'm blanking on the guy who played Riggs, but they hated each other, apparently, the two actors. Apparently they were even caught one time because they still had their mics on and they were like talking mad shit to each other. Basically, like, you know, Damon Wayans calling him a bitch and the other guy being like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. It got so bad that the second season actually ends with Riggs getting shot in the chest and them ending it on a cliffhanger. And when they come back in season 3, Riggs is dead. Because at the end of the second season, they were like, you know what? Like, apparently the actor had just gone way over the line. And they were like, you know what? Fuck it. He's fired. So
I thought they just replaced him with somebody else because I didn't hear about that. I thought they just made somebody else Riggs.
So they so basically they were like, all right, we'll get him shot in the chest, and then depending on how things go from there, we'll decide if he lived or he dies. And then the season opens up and it's like 2 or 3 months later and Riggs died. And they ended up bringing in Sean William Scott as a he had the same last name as Rene Russo's character in the Lethal Weapons, but this time, you know, he was a male instead of female, and he became Murtaugh's new partner. But
I thought they just replaced him and said he was Riggs because I heard about that.
No, they fucking kill Riggs off, man. But I actually enjoyed it. It wasn't bad. Was it the best thing on television? No, but I mean, I enjoyed it for what it was.
I just couldn't watch it. I was like, it's not Mel Gibson and Danny Glover. It's not Lethal Weapon. Joe Pesci's not running around telling everybody to fuck off with a Napoleon complex to the whole movie. That's not. Yeah. If you don't have that, you don't have Lethal Weapon.
Always remember these words by Joe Pesci. You know, never go through the drive-through because they'll fuck you at the drive-through. You know, it's crazy how much of an integral part he is in that series, but you always forget that he doesn't come in until like the second one.
Yeah, I know.
You know what? The TV show also had had Joe Pesci's character on there, played by he's on Reno 911. I forget the actor's name though, but he was playing Joe Pesci's character on there too. So eventually, all the characters from the movies did end up showing up in the TV show.
Has the show ended, or is it still on?
No, it ended at the end of the third season. I guess once they killed off Riggs, people were like, fuck it. We're out.
Yeah, there was a lot of backlash over that. I do remember that. Like there was a lot of people like mad about that.
Well, Mel Gibson was supposed to die at the end of the second movie too.
Yeah, but they probably didn't think there would be a third though.
Yeah, I mean, supposedly his character was supposed to die. And then they were like, you know what, fuck it. Like, film an extra scene of him, like, walking out with Murtaugh.
So say, I love those movies. Even, like, to this day, I still love all the Lethal Weapons. I I never considered it a Christmas movie though, but I still love the movie. So I've watched all 4 of them, and I actually kind of do hope that they're telling the truth and they go through with green light and the 5th one. I'll watch it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, Gibson's still in pretty good shape. So is Danny Glover.
Have you guys watched Fat Man?
I haven't, but I remember you talking very highly of it.
I wanted to see it.
It's a really good movie. There's a lot of people like hating on it. There's a lot of people hating on it because of, what Mel Gibson did in his past. But I think it's great. I think Mel Gibson's great in it. It's a really good movie. So you guys should watch it.
I mean, that's because a lot of times people have a hard time separating a character from the actor, and I'm just like, you're watching a movie, he's pretending to be somebody. Like,
he's fucking Santa Claus.
Right.
A gun-toting, cursing Santa Claus.
Mm.
But I don't know that guy's name. I can never remember his name. But the guy that's the hitman.
Oh, Walter Goggins.
Yes, that's his name. He is fucking great. There is a scene in Fat Man where he first meets Santa, and he just screams, "I'm coming for you, Fat Man." But he does it with this like he just screams it. And I mean, he's not that far from Santa at the time. They're like standing right in front of each other. But he screams it out the top of his lungs, and he drags it on. Like the Fat Man just drags on for like that extra second or two that you shouldn't be still saying it.
Mm-hmm.
And he does it in such an unnerving way. It makes you feel weird.
Like, he's one of those actors that you see in a lot of stuff, and he's always so good. I always liked him in Django Unchained. He's like Leonardo. He works for Leonardo DiCaprio's group. He reminds me a lot of like another character actor by the name of William Fichtner, who's in a lot of stuff too. You might remember him as the bank manager in the Dark Knight opening. He's the guy who's like shooting his shotgun at the Joker. And the Joker puts like the gas bomb in his mouth.
I'm not recalling his face for some reason. But yeah, like Roggins, though, he's like really good. Like I will, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but there's a TV show on HBO. Now I'm blanking on the name of this actual show, but it stars John Goodman, and they're like a family of rich pastors, and he's like their brother-in-law that's like a piece of shit in the TV show. Cannot think of the name of the TV show at the moment. It's only had one season so far. It was like the second season didn't get canceled, but they pushed it back until next year because of COVID, because they couldn't film it. But you guys should check it out if I could just remember the name of it. But you can't miss it. It's a John Goodman show that has that's about pastors, like TV pastors.
Not once again going off topic, but John Goodman is another one of those actors that I feel has never gotten the credit he deserves. I've always thought he's so underrated.
John Goodman is one of my favorite actors, honestly. I love all of his movies.
I mean
Roland's based Walter about his whole life. That's like Roland's life is based upon Walter.
Pretty much.
I mean, he even kind of looks like Walter right now.
Yeah, he does.
If you guys want to know, I can get you a tow by 3:00.
I mean, him as Dan Connor on Roseanne was really good.
I still watch. I watch the new show every week. It's missing something without Roseanne, but it's still like really funny. Like,
yeah. But yeah, I've always liked him as an actor. He's so good.
well, that was our final movie, guys. But we have one more segment for tonight before we go, and something I've been thinking about doing for a while on the show. And I'm gonna try it out here with Roland and Renee and see how they do. So we're gonna play a game, and we're gonna see if Renee and Roland are losers or if they're winners. I have my doubts about them being winners.
I mean, as long as you're not picking like the most obscure fucking thing.
It's not an obscure movie. I mean, I have no clue whether you guys have ever seen it, but it's definitely not an obscure movie. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna play. I picked a movie, and we're gonna play movie 20 questions. So Renee and Roland get 20 questions. It's not a piece; it's combined. So you can do it however you want to. Like if you want to ask one question, then the other one asks a question, or if somebody just wants to fire off questions, however you want to do it.
And it's just yes or no questions, I'm assuming.
Yeah. And you get to, and you can talk amongst yourselves, and I'll just tell you the answers to the questions. And if you're like asking each other questions, that's fine. Just when you ask me a question, just say, this is the question. This is the question. So let it begin.
All right, Roland. You know Rocky more than I do. What genre do you think he's going for?
Action.
I mean, fuck it. Rocky, is it an action movie?
No.
Well, fuck. Rocky, is it a Christmas movie?
Yes. I did pick a Christmas movie. I said I wasn't going to tell you, but I did pick one.
Has it been made in the last 20 years?
Yes.
Does it star Arnold Schwarzenegger?
No.
Is it a comedy?
Yes.
Would you say it's a vulgar comedy?
No.
Is it based on a book?
I'm going to say no. Let me check that, though. No. So it's not based on a book. Didn't figure it was, but I just had to make sure.
Was it made by a fairly famous director?
I don't know him.
Was the movie made within the last 10 years?
Yes.
So 2010 and up. 2010 and up, and it's a Christmas film. It's a comedy. Would it be considered a obscure Christmas movie, kind of like the ones we discussed tonight?
No. That's 10.
This is awful because I don't watch Christmas movies, so I genuinely detest holiday films.
I'm gonna take a guess.
You're going to go ahead and guess? You don't want to use your other 10?
I mean, if I'm wrong, do I still have 10 questions?
No. If you guess, then you guess. Game in. So you want to narrow it down with your questions before you make your guess.
Is it also a monster movie?
No.
Okay, this is me talking to Roland. I was gonna guess Krampus.
No, not that one. I did think about using that one, but I decided against it. I thought that might be too easy.
Does it have Kurt Russell?
No.
Did the movie go to theaters?
Yes.
Well, that obviously rules out Santa Sleighs.
That was made like in 06. So.
Was it? Oh, yeah.
I've never seen that, so
Good on you for knowing the year that movie was made. Jesus.
I mean, 05, 06. I've never seen it though. I have no interest in seeing Bill Goldberg's acting.
I liked him in Longest Yard. I liked everybody in Longest Yard. I thought that movie was that's like one of my favorite Adam Sandler movies.
That's more of an ensemble cast.
So I can only ask you yes or no questions.
Yeah.
Is the movie rated R?
No.
Okay. Rated PG-13?
Let me double check on that. Yes, it is. I thought it might have been rated PG, but it's rated PG-13. So that's 15.
Was it made in the last 5 years?
Yes.
All right, so that narrows it down between 2015 and 2020.
It doesn't have Kurt Russell, so it's not the one where Kurt Russell's the Santa Claus.
You might as well throw out all 2020 because there's no movies came out in theater this year.
Well, it wouldn't count anyway because that's a Netflix movie.
Yeah.
That's why I asked if it went to theaters.
I have no clue.
I actually thought you guys would be able to get this.
That's a holiday film, so I don't know shit about fuck.
So it's sometime in the last 4 years. It's a comedy. PG-13. Christmas. Went to the theaters.
It's a comedy Christmas movie. There's no doubt this one's a Christmas movie. Just so you know. That's what you asked that. So, it's not an obscure one.
How many questions do we have left?
4 questions and a guess.
Damn, man.
I stumped you on the very first time I did this.
I'm just trying to think of what's like Christmassy the last couple years.
Yeah, you Renee, I've not seen a Christmas movie probably in the last decade.
You at least have your computer in front of you, Roland. Like, I don't even have that.
Yeah, you ain't got no way to look up anything.
Yeah, I mean, most of the Christmas stuff I watched the last couple of years has been like direct to some streaming service.
Now this one came out in theaters when it came out. I will give you a little bit of a hint. It was well received by audiences, but critics fucking hated it. But it did well. Like, it made money.
Was it actually released in the month of December?
No.
Did it come out in 2019?
No. 2 questions and a guess left. I think I've stumped you guys on the very first one.
I'm going to go ahead and guess if you don't, Renee.
All right, go ahead.
Is it The Claws?
No.
Okay. Just get this over with.
Well, hold on. I still get 2 questions, don't I?
No. That's why I was like, if you guess. You're combined. So you guys have lost. I'll go ahead and tell you what it was. It was Daddy's Home 2.
Oh, fuck you.
What? Daddy's Home 2. Have either one even seen it?
I've got 2 for you right there.
I have not.
I've heard you guys have seen that. It was a pretty popular movie.
I've seen the first one. I just haven't seen the second one.
The second one is a Christmas movie. It was released in November. It wasn't released in December. It was released right before Christmas season started. So, but starring Mark Wahlberg, Will Ferrell, Mel Gibson, and John Lithgow. I thought maybe it would pop in your head since we just discussed Mel Gibson like quite a bit. But I stumped you on the first one. It may have been a little bit too hard since it was a sequel. But it was one of the few big Christmas movies that came out in the past few years. So I thought it would be pretty easy for you guys. I thought you'd probably get it.
I've only ever seen the first one, man. Never saw the sequel.
So, and I really like the movie, actually. It's like I've watched it a bunch of times. It has, it also has John Cena in it, which was another reason I was like, I'll put that. With the rest, we do the WrestleCast. I was like, I'll put one that's got wrestlers in it. I was like, this should be pretty easy for them to get. Though when I thought it up, I was like, it's got wrestlers in it. It's got fucking Mel Gibson in it. They should get this movie.
It's got a wrestler in it. How about No Holds Barred?
Rip Tiny.
R.I.P. Tiny Lister.
Well, on that disappointment, guys, I guess we're done with this week. Like and subscribe. Like our Facebook page. We just started a Discord chat. Had a few people in there so far. You guys can talk amongst yourself. We'll start monitoring it more. We'll talk to you guys there. And of course, you can always hit us up on our email at podcast@rollingrock.com. And other than that, we're out, guys.
Have a good one.